is a superstar. I've been saying it for years. I keep telling everybody she's the Steph Curry of women's basketball, college or pro. She is a superstar. I had the pleasure of doing an event with her on campus at Iowa a few months ago. I went there for my man Mark Shapiro, and I had a blast. She and I were on a panel together. She's a wonderful, wonderful young lady, incredibly poised. But this woman is the nation's leading scorer, averaging 31.5 points per game, shooting 40% from threes. She's hitting at least 5 3-pointers per game. She is.
Nike's downfall wasn't triggered by some massive scandal or failed campaign. It all went sideways at the stroke of midnight because of one WNBA star. Picture this. A simple $40 shirt bringing a $150 billion empire to its knees in less than 60 seconds. Their entire global network wasn't ready for what was about to hit them. And when Caitlin Clark's merchandise finally dropped, it didn't just sell out. It sparked a $1.5 billion domino effect that rewrote the entire playbook for women's basketball. Stay with me because this story gets wild.
You got Caitlin Clark, amazing, logo threes and buzzer beaters. Now, you know, Caitlin Clark has been the talk of the town for the past, really this whole year, but really just heavy in the past 2 months, just because, you know, she's the best female college player of all time that's coming out of college type shit. Even though they lost in the championship, they are still just showing this girl's face. No hate, no love. I really like her game. I haven't seen too much of it. I've seen little clips and stuff, but I really haven't just sat there.
When Caitlin Clark's logo finally went live, everything exploded. We're talking about a basic t-shirt with 2 interlocking C's, honoring the WNBA's breakout star. What Nike thought would be just another product launch turned into complete mayhem. This became the most insane merchandise rollout sports apparel had ever witnessed.
Telling y'all, wait till this girl gets to the WNBA. She is something special. Make no mistake about it. And I really, really, really am rooting for her. I really want to see her again have another shot at a national championship. She's my favorite player in women's basketball.
Here's the crazy part. Nike masters the art of hyping million-dollar sneaker drops over months of buildup. Yet somehow they spent 18 months dragging their feet on Caitlin Clark gear. Fans were practically begging for it. Where were the jerseys? The sweatshirts? The accessory? The partnerships?
The conversation around greatness can have nothing to do with the conversation around being a cultural phenomenon. And now there is no debate that Caitlin Clark has become exactly that. Think about it. The Nike historic shoe deal she just signed, she signed because companies like to make money, and they know they will make money. Because when Caitlin Clark walks into a coffee shop in the middle of nowhere, people recognize her. Because when you are on Saturday Night Live and every news and entertainment network along the way, not just sports networks, you've risen above the conversation about your play, and you've become a cultural phenomenon.
The wait felt endless. Then suddenly, right after midnight on this random September evening, boom! The logo drops without warning. Clean design, simple concept, absolutely lethal execution. $40 for grown-ups, $35 for kids. Nike cranked out 2 million pieces, thinking they'd covered all their bases. They had no clue what was coming.
I watch an Iowa game when she was playing, or just sat there and like watch her full highlight clips, just whatever like great shot she shoots or whatever play she makes that's big and it goes on Twitter or TikTok, whatever. I've seen it. But I want to give respect due to this, you know, to her, because again, what she's doing is amazing. Like you ain't never seen no female do what she be doing, or no woman. So in that standpoint, I just want to show love and just see, you know, what's going on, like see what type of shots and like just the craftiness that she got.
1 minute. That's literally all it lasted. Nike's entire system, designed to process billions worth of transactions annually, just collapsed. 10 million people slammed their website simultaneously. 500,000 orders went through before everything crashed and burned. Millions of desperate fans got locked out completely. Their excitement turned into pure rage and obsession. The world just watched a player barely 2 seasons into her pro career generate buying hysteria that matched the sport's biggest male superstars. When Europe woke up, same disaster. Asia, where Clark has massive support, got hit even harder. Fans in Tokyo were literally camping outside stores hoping to snag just one shirt. Chinese marketplaces started listing Clark tees for $3,000 each. Resellers went absolutely nuts. Bots and flippers turned the chaos into serious cash, marking everything up by 250%. One opportunist allegedly made $50,000 overnight from this single drop. Wall Street took notice too. Nike's stock shot up 8% before markets even opened the next morning. Social platforms went completely insane. Global hashtags started trending. Crash videos and checkout failures racked up hundreds of millions of views. Fashion magazines from Vogue to GQ started covering the shirt like haute couture. High schoolers were trading these things for gaming systems, concert tickets, even vehicles. A basic t-shirt became a status symbol and undeniable proof of women's basketball's commercial firepower.
You could make the argument right now that Caitlin Clark has become the Taylor Swift for all of women's sports. She's easily recognizable in everything she does, and it's turning new generations of fans to her. It's bringing new generations of women and men to sports that maybe they weren't covering before. It's getting a level of interest that is far beyond the game that's being played. We can continue to debate the career process for Caitlin Clark and what's going to happen. But what this shoe deal proves to all of us and reminds all of us is that there are sometimes some people are larger than any one particular game that they play. Caitlin Clark has accomplished that already.
At Nike headquarters, panic mode activated. 2 million units vanished in 3 hours flat. They scrambled to order 5 million more immediately. Shipping companies went into overdrive. Asian factories pushed round-the-clock production schedules. The supply chain nightmare went global. But every wasted moment meant lost profits. The harsh reality hit them hard. Nike completely misjudged the appetite, not for the product or the athlete, but for the cultural significance of finally giving women's basketball its due. October's full collection launch was even bigger. Hoodies alone outsold 12 entire teams' merchandise combined. Nike's quarterly earnings showed a 15% bump, specifically crediting the Clark line as the primary catalyst. For a company worth $150 billion, that's earth-shattering. Rival companies went into crisis mode. Adidas called emergency strategy sessions. Under Armour's stock tanked. Reebok executives were reportedly in full panic. Puma demanded answers for their underperforming women's divisions. One question echoed throughout the industry. How did Nike pull this off with just one WNBA player and a $40 shirt? The simple answer was Caitlin Clark, but the deeper meaning was revolutionary.
Is going to be a monster. It is going to be the most popular and the most important shoe that Nike has released, definitely since the LeBron shoe, and maybe even dating all the way back to the Jordan shoe. And in terms of sales, it is going to be off the charts. And just listening to Caitlin talk about the features that this shoe is going to have, it is going to be next level in terms of the evolution of basketball.
The impact hit every other WNBA star immediately. Sabrina Ionescu, Aaliyah Boston, Aja Wilson, they're all witnessing the game change overnight. This logo transcended team rivalries, outperformed signature collections, and redefined what investing in women's sports could accomplish. Future contract talks will forever reference Clark's launch figures. Networks evaluating broadcast deals will point to this commercial explosion. Brands reconsidering athlete partnerships now realize the potential was massively underestimated. The effects go way beyond dollars, though. They're psychological, cultural, and social. Nike's competition had to face facts. Women's basketball was undervalued, ignored, and dismissed for way too long. This moment validates every investment, marketing push, and leap of faith in female athletes. Clark's phenomenon creates a template that will influence leagues, corporations, and markets worldwide, shattering old beliefs about commercial viability in sports. Looking deeper, this isn't just about Clark individually. It represents every woman told her sport wasn't marketable enough. Every player who settled for smaller contracts because the system wrote them off. Every team denied proper marketing resources or brand support needed to reach these heights.
It matters on our team, no matter who you are, what your role is, and they buy into that, but they are not jealous of Caitlin because they know she works hard, harder than anybody. She's a goofy teammate. She shares the wealth. I mean, she gives Nike gear out like it's candy and Bose headphones and those type of things. So, I mean, she's a person that endears herself to you. She gives credits to her teammates as soon as she can. And, you know, when her spotlight shines, it shines on all of us, and we're all happy about that.
Clark's breakthrough proves it was never about fan interest. The issue was opportunity, exposure, and institutional confidence. Now that barrier has been demolished permanently, and globally, Nike learned their lesson the hard way. Their entire approach is shifting. They're pouring resources into women's basketball, accelerating production timelines, and overhauling global launch strategies for female athletes. Competitors are scrambling to adapt. realizing that dismissing women's basketball is commercial suicide now. The cultural wave, financial muscle, and mainstream attention Clark's generated are rewriting decades-old industry standards. Her logo means more than apparel. It symbolizes women's sports' ability to command global focus, disrupt established markets, and reshape cultural conversations. It demonstrates that proper talent plus proper investment plus proper platform equals world-changing results. It's simultaneously a roadmap, a wake-up call, and an open door. Month's end brought undeniable proof. 500 million in revenue, international headlines, destroyed servers, soaring stock prices, and cultural impact that will shape contracts, sponsorships, and league expansion for generations.
Caitlin Clark, the girl just made $28 million with Nike. She's getting a signature shoe. Unfortunately, she is still left to deal with all of the critics. Now, why are there critics? Well, because Caitlin Clark is white. There's a USA Today writer, his name is Mike Freeman, and he put up this post. No black WNBA players have the signature shoe. Jamel Hill, who always likes to make a big deal when it comes to race, she's whining that Caitlin Clark wasn't deserving of the shoe deal. It's easy to see why Caitlin Clark was the one chosen to have the shoe deal. Nike is just not handing out shoe deals to anybody regardless of skin color. This isn't a black or white issue, this is a marketability.
Caitlin Clark turned wearing a simple shirt into a worldwide phenomenon, proving women's basketball doesn't just deserve recognition, it demands it. Nike's technical meltdown, the secondary market frenzy, celebrity endorsements, and viral social explosions all proved one fundamental truth. Women's basketball possesses unprecedented commercial strength. This wasn't random luck, manufactured buzz, or pure chance. This was a defining moment where years of athletic brilliance, fan dedication, and corporate acknowledgement finally converged perfectly. The aftershocks are just beginning. Fans now grasp their influence. Their passion, engagement, purchasing power, and attention can shift markets, crash systems, and create history. This transcends merchandise. This is transformation. Caitlin Clark's logo didn't just overwhelm a website. It demolished preconceptions, recalculated women's sports' true worth, and cleared pathways for every future athlete. The Clark launch completely rewired industry conversations instantly. For years, the league sold potential, growth projections, and theoretical audiences. Suddenly, they had concrete evidence. Raw and irrefutable proof in crashed servers, emergency manufacturing, and $500 million in consumer hunger that needed zero convincing.
If you're looking at the amount of views, I'm looking at Nike right here on my phone on Instagram. Caitlin Clark ad has 30.3 million views. Like, the only comparable view, anything view-wise, in the last... I'm just trying to think what has had more. So, since Caitlin Clark's very first reveal, 22.4 million views. Between the Caitlin Clark logo reveal and this Caitlin Clark video.
Behind corporate doors, everything shifted quietly. Sponsorship discussions that once felt hypothetical became cutthroat bidding wars. Brands that questioned whether women's basketball could drive sales were now scrambling for entry points. Player representatives started citing Clark's numbers in negotiations, not for comparison, but as proof the market had been artificially suppressed for decades. This wasn't about replicating Caitlin Clark's success with every athlete. It proved the entire ecosystem had been criminally undervalued. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Media rights executives stopped analyzing highlight packages and started studying traffic analytics, resale data, and international demand patterns. When one athlete generates this engagement without championship runs, without legacy narratives, without decades of brand building, it revolutionizes deal structures.
When this shoe is released, it's going to be an atom bomb in terms of sales. It's going to be an atom bomb in terms of celebrities and athletes wearing them on the court. We've already seen that her CC colorways of the Kobe's are the most popular colorways that are being worn on WNBA and NBA courts right now. This is only the beginning. Once Caitlin's shoe comes out, it is going to be massive.
Television contracts suddenly encompass more than viewership numbers. They're about merchandising, cultural impact, and digital supremacy. Nike's internal review was absolutely ruthless. How did the ultimate athlete marketing company miscalculate this badly? Why such conservative production estimates? Why wasn't their infrastructure tested for this demand level? The uncomfortable truth kept surfacing in company meetings. Women's basketball never received this assumption of success before. But once you witness explosive demand firsthand, there's no going backward. Competing brands felt immediate pressure. Adidas revisited women's basketball partnerships they'd previously declined. Puma reevaluated athlete promotion budgets. Under Armour, already fighting for cultural relevance, faced tough questions about their complete absence from these conversations. Clark's moment didn't just elevate Nike. It exposed everyone else's shortcomings.
I'm not gonna lie, I think we're looking at Caitlin Clark's ad being one of the more viral things we've seen in a long time. Like if you look at the Instagram post on Nike, as far as I'm aware, the Instagram post has like 30 million views, which is, again, absolutely bonkers. Which is bonkers. It is bonkers to see that many posts, that many things from obviously Nike, that many views with Nike Caitlin.
The league itself started quietly preparing for a new reality, where players would demand greater leverage, revenue participation, merchandising control, and guaranteed visibility instead of treating exposure like bonuses. When fans demonstrate this level of commitment, power structures shift fundamentally. Clark's logo made it impossible to claim women's basketball was still niche entertainment. The most incredible aspect was how naturally everything unfolded. Despite massive corporate machinery operating behind the scenes, fans didn't purchase shirts because of marketing pressure. International markets embraced Clark as a global icon, not just American entertainment. Throughout Asia, her shooting technique and swagger connected with young players seeking alternatives to traditional NBA stereotypes. In Europe, where women's athletics enjoy broader institutional support, this commercial explosion confirmed what supporters already knew. Clark's logo didn't just move products, it exported credibility. Even counterfeit chaos told its own story. Knockoff merchandise only floods markets when demand becomes uncontrollable. Street vendors don't risk legal consequences unless profits are guaranteed massive.
If you are hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock. The WNBA star teamed up with Nike for a player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in Indiana Fever colors. You see them on your screen. They dropped at 10 a.m. Monday, and they sold out before 11 a.m. In fact, in just minutes. The $190 kicks are already showing up on the secondary market at close to double the retail price.
Underground supply networks don't organize overnight. Unless products carry serious cultural weight, black market dealers didn't see women's basketball apparel. They saw pure profit. That perspective matters enormously. As weeks progressed, the storyline evolved from website failures to market recalibration. Commentators who previously questioned the hype now presented this moment as unavoidable. Industry analysts stopped debating Clark's league impact and started examining how organizations could handle what's coming next. This was just the beginning. If a t-shirt could accomplish this, imagine what happens when the complete promotional machine operates with genuine conviction instead of cautious skepticism. The answer is what executives are privately acknowledging now. They're playing catch-up. Markets moved faster than prediction. Fans were prepared long before brands were ready. Caitlin Clark didn't just seize her moment. She revealed how long that moment had been building. This wasn't the conclusion of anything. It marked the opening of a new chapter, where women's basketball stops requesting recognition. It's claiming what belongs to it, one overwhelmed server at a time.